Professor.
Hi.
Hello.
It can make you cry, it can make you sing, but you're saying that it can actually heal people.
And the patients start to recover the ability to move the sounds through the body.
Relax. Definitely a very relaxing experience. Hello and welcome to this edition of Crossover. No, wait. Yes. Hold it. Not done yet.
Don't sing.
I'm Eyee and Xiaojun.
And with the strike of the gong, the ocean drum, and this,
No, it's
Oh,
not
that didn't
working.
work.
Not working.
obviously I'm not as good at this as you are.
So what are we doing today?
The gong struck, we could start the show, and oh my God, check out this set we have today.
We have a dental workshop over there.
It looks...
No, it's not.
You know, I have a feeling it's supposed to be relaxing, but I have to say
Yeah.
the setup looks very clinical in some ways.
Just take a look. It seems some ceremony, some ritual is going to happen right over there. We'll tell you what's going to happen, but today the theme, take a listen, the theme of today's discussion is about music
Music therapy. Now let me ask you, what do you do to relax? Do you typically?
Take a nap, have a drink.
But I mean, you're a great singer, so you must love music.
I'm all right. I listen to
Oh,
music.
come on, you're
you
being
know.
modest.
Yeah,
but
I listen
yeah,
to
I mean, I
music.
know for a lot of people, music is very therapeutic. So
Well,
yes,
yeah.
we are talking about music therapy. We have three great guests today. We have Li Bing, Zhiya,
We only see two here
and
in the studio.
these are two. We have one added one on the screen. We have Professor Angelo Molino from Rome, Italy.
Hello, Professor.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
So you're really in Rome, in Italy.
Yeah, I am in Rome, in Italy, and it's very nice to meet you.
Okay, can we do a distant music therapy session?
Here, no, we are not ready. This is my private studio. In this place, I have the interview with the people, with the patients. you know.
Right. So this is not something that you can do over Skype, an actual therapy session.
We could organize another time, a little active therapy session with all the instruments.
So what exactly is music therapy?
Well, in my opinion, that music therapy, we define it as something that the therapists use music as a therapeutic medium to reach some functional life outcomes.
Right.
And also by saying functional outcomes, we are saying like cognitive, social, emotional, psychological, and physical outcomes.
I prefer say music healing.
Music healing.
Yes. So because of for the Chinese philosophy of health, treat it before disease. So we want to healing people before he have the serious disease. So we use the music to help the people to feel relaxed and to release the depressed, release the pressure, and to feel the better from the mood.
So what type of conditions are you usually healing or, providing therapy for?
For your patients.
Our clients actually, the scope of practice in music therapy, we have a saying that from womb to tomb, that is from like really little babies that in NICU, that those are preborn babies, and we are going to provide some music to help them to relax, and also that's going to help them to gain some weight and learn that sucking, and that is
We call it education, baby education, right? Preborn baby education.
Right, when the child is in
Exactly.
the womb and you play music
Yeah,
for the baby.
if you want them to be a musician in the future, play Bach, play Beethoven. If then
Right.
that's a little bit different because the babies are actually born, but they are not fully developed.
Okay.
And that's when we see them in the hospital, in the neonatal intensive care unit.
Right.
And also patients with stroke, that maybe after stroke they have a tendency to that they have a weird gait pattern that you can typically see on the streets, that they are not walking like this, but they are walking like this.
Well, this is really fascinating because I mean, I always knew, like we said, music can be something that, I mean, I feel like is something great for the soul. You might sing in the shower, you might sing with music while you're driving, you know, your car. It can make you cry, it can make you sing, but you're saying that it can actually heal people? Like
Yes, and treat people in
serious diseases and conditions.
serious
Physical
disease.
ones, not-
Yes,
Right.
and physical ones.
For example, the clinic in Beijing, we cooperate. And also the injury recovery hospital, they also use it for the old people, for AD, Parkinson. Yes, yes. So this also have some results.
AD, attention
AD.
deficit, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Professor Molino, how long have you been practicing music therapy?
My career started 20 years ago. I was a piano concertist for classical music, but I was a teacher too for little children. And I discovered that in my classrooms there was special children, you know, with autism or other problems like body problems, movement, like that. I started to interested in it because I am a composer starting. And I was very, very, very interested to develop this kind of effect, the power of the music, you know. And in this sense, the music has three different powers. I agree with the colleague because the thing is this, you can go inside the psychological question of the patient, inside the mind, you can recover the balance of the wellness of the patient, and you can go inside the problem of the physical skills. These are three different kinds of music therapy. In West here, we use more the active one, that you can play a little instruments like the Chinese bells that you like so much, and other kind of things that permit you to restart, to recover your physical skills, you know. This is very, very important because the power of the music in this sense is connected to the movement. My personal protocol of care is a contamination about drama therapy, music therapy, dance therapy, and the plastical and painter therapy, the four art therapies.
Professor Molino, can you give me an example of the physical healing that music can provide? I mean, I guess that's the part that really surprises me, that actually, you know, it could heal something physical. Can you give me an example?
For example, I have some Parkinson disease patients that work now with the Soundbeam 5. The Soundbeam 5 is a technical thing that can be connected with the PC. There are many sensors in a room. You move your body, and through the movement, you generate sounds, you know? And this thing starts to improve your mental skills to recover the fine movements, no? Like this thing. You can give one sound for one finger. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, you know the scale, no? The chromatic scale. And the patients start to recover the ability to move the sounds through the body. And in this way, they recover the skill to move the body.
Professor, can I just ask you this question? Do you think you are a musician, a psychologist, or a doctor?
Yeah, this is a good question. You know, I define myself an interface. We are an interface between art and medical environment. Because if you want to be a complete professional one in this field, you must have the studies from music, from medical environment, and from psychology.
A technical question.
Yes.
When you have the license from the government, what do they say you are on that license?
Well, what we are trying to promote is a music therapist license.
So there is a license.
But do we have a category like that?
In the United States, yes.
China?
In China, not yet.
For me, I prefer myself to be a music therapy beneficiary.
Okay.
Yes.
Beneficiary. So you
Beneficiary.
benefit from this as
Yeah,
well.
when I give the birth for my boy, and I think at that time I don't know. I get easy to cry, and easy to out of control of a mood, and easy to angry.
Postpartum
problem.
depression.
I sometimes feel devaluated by myself.
Right.
Yes, I cannot fall asleep with my child with me. Yes, and the nervous is very attention. I don't know what problem at that time. So my parents, my husband helping me a lot, but it's not work. And it's more serious as the time goes by. So I'm very fortunate, and I get the music therapy by my music doctor in America. Just this therapy.
And you felt
Exactly this kind of
Yes.
therapy.
and it worked on you. You felt the power.
I will never forget about my feelings at that time. For the first time when music therapy to do the therapy for me, and 30 minutes later, when I come back, I feel myself rebirth.
You felt a complete reverse.
Rebirth.
Just
Did
for
you-
one session. How long did it last?
30 minutes.
30 minutes.
Was there some sort of release? Did you have like this huge crying spell, or did you all of a sudden feel like you needed to laugh? I mean, what was it? Or was it was just a very calm?
I no cry
reaction?
and no very. I just feel so peaceful, full of energy.
I mean-
yes, I totally different.
Wait. I mean, it's more about power of music. What about just, close the door, lock yourself in the room and play music, whatever music you
try a lot
want,
of-
and that's it.
I try a lot of times.
Is it not the same thing?
No, totally
not?
different.
It's not.
It's
no,
not.
totally.
When we define a process as music therapy, first we do have music. That's a common part.
Okay.
And when
And
we
you
are
also
singing,
have this?
yeah, maybe sometimes. When we're talking about therapy, there must be a therapist,
Oh, yeah.
a certified therapist, and a client. And I think in music therapy, first of all, the music is not just a random selection from your playlist.
Right.
It's specially designed and it's mostly decided based on the client's choice and also based upon the therapist's choice at that moment. And it's a very interactive
Right.
music making process.
Professor Molino, I want to get you in this conversation again. Li Bing is talking about how every single therapy session is pretty much customized for each patient. How much time do you spend in this, I guess, customized type of therapy approach?
Every person has a different problem, of course, and you have to tailor your therapy to the problems of that person. For example, to rebalance the less of the sleep and the wake cycle, we can tailor some kind of music that start to produce in your brain the delta waves, to arrive in another world, like my colleague said, and to arrive in a, the term says in a twilight zone of the mind. In that way, you arrive inside the problem, a psychological problem of the patient, and this kind of music is composed especially to arrive deep, to go vertical and not horizontal on the treatment. This is a real psychological treatment. And for this case, I need a team to work with me, a psychiatric doctor, neurologist, psychological, and me. In this way, we can connect our environments to provide to the patient the real treatment that to the end of the cycle, like 20, 15 sections, can restore totally the balance. This is very important.
When we come back, we're going to understand more about the two varying approaches. In the meantime, please check out those links below. Well, this is the most interesting part at the very end when I was in my relaxation mode.
我们都是音乐家，让我们一起来听听。
Do you need a music education background to be a music therapist? Welcome back to Crossover. Now, the question, I really like this one. Can we keep them,
I can really
in
tell.
the future for other episodes? Anyway, now the question to the ladies and also to Professor, when we talk about the number of patients and how big is the group, say in China, we say, everyone is saying, I mean, life pace is fast and so many people are now suffering from depression, and even not long ago, a celebrity, actually, a film star, he died. And they say the main reason was depression. But not everyone would want to see a psychologist, a doctor, or a music therapist to cure those problems. They would say, no, I'm fine. I don't have that problem.
I'll get through it.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah,
So what is situation like?
I have some status and from the Shanghai Region Hospital Psychology Department, and 80% of
Right.
the patient ask for the psychology department is anxious and depressed.
How was that, how prevalent and accepted is it there in the US and or
The
Europe
treatment,
versus
yeah.
here in China?
In US, currently we have 6,000 music therapists credentialed.
Okay.
How many
Yeah.
do we have in China?
I guess less than 100.
Less than 100.
Yes.
Okay.
So after even 20 years, I mean, your center,
Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
how many
right.
universities are now training, say, music therapists?
Well, this is the problem that we have about 14 universities providing training programs in China. Well, in US, they have, I think the number is 71 universities offering bachelor degrees and 38 schools offering masters and above.
Professor Molina, what's the situation in Europe?
Yeah, in Europe, the situation now is growing up very fast because the universities, the university where I teach and the other universities are confederated now. We have the European Confederation that give you, like a student, a certification that you can work everywhere. And the degrees are very, very, very good and very deep, like study, because inside the degrees you have study of music, of psychology, and like a real physician with a neurologist, exams, all that things. The patients are all connected because, for example, the depression starts to be a big problem because we have a lot of working stress, integration of new people that come from the immigration fluxes, and the depression about the ancient people that have to fight against the Alzheimer, the Parkinson, the cancer. In the hospice, the depression are very, very considerate, and all these people mixed be a big public for the music therapy.
We could talk about this as much as we want,
Right.
but you actually have to go and experience
feel
it,
it.
right? So I was the guinea pig, and I went to Li Bing Center.
That's a treat.
You know what you're about
That's a
to
treat
see?
from the team.
Please take a look.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Well,
Please have a seat.
thank you.
You look gorgeous today.
Thanks, and you.
Write this information chart you provided me. So, since you like this song so much, why don't we start with this one today?
Okay.
Rocky horse flows on a brim, Paris trembling from the night. Where the sun, this is my favorite song. Like all those things that's basically getting your mind packed. And actually, after singing this one of your favorite songs today, you're also going to write one of your own songs.
Oh.
Getting tired of
City living.
getting tired of mean people. So these are the choices
Okay.
that you can try them. For now.
Ooh, I like this one too.
Like that?
Yeah.
Okay, we have.
I'm getting tired of city living. I'm getting tired of too much to do. I'm getting tired of mean people. I'm getting tired of not enough time. Life can be crazy, it goes by so fast. I've got the city blues. Yeah, all right. So what's next with this session?
So next,
Okay.
the last part is going to get to the relaxation part,
Okay.
which is the that you really expect, right?
Okay, yep.
Yeah.
So should I lean back?
Close off white myself.
But this
But
is so different from what I thought what a music therapy session
Me
would be
too.
like.
That's why the video is
I
so
thought it would
important.
be, dim the light
And
with the
she-
curtains on, dark, and play the music. It's not live, not someone playing guitar
Right.
and singing right in front of you.
So then I understood
not
because
your
actually
singing.
when she was talking about therapy, like your connection with the therapist is so important. It's not just some third person or a radio track.
But that looks
playing.
more like a music school, training you to be a
But I have
potential
to tell
composer.
you, now this is the most interesting part. At the very end, when I was in my relaxation mode, so I was imagining this place, and I was walking on the ocean, and I still remember this very vividly, and it was dusk. I was walking on the ocean, and I was by myself, but I could hear the laughter of my children behind me, and I could hear my husband walking alongside them, but I was alone. And then she started singing the song, which was What a Wonderful World. And that was just really a truly like emotional moment, because that was a song that I played at my wedding for my first dance.
How did they know?
She didn't know.
Professor, if you do a session, would you be doing something like what you see now?
The both way are right, because if you need energy, we can use the rock and roll too. It's not provided. The problem is this: when you have to do what you need, what the patient needs. For some people, it's very important the environment that you describe: curtain, relaxing, light very very low, kind of music with the sound of the nature environment on the background, like rain, thunders, or rainfalls, that things. In another case, you need to restore the energy of the
Right.
people. And in that case, you can play really fast with energetic sounds. I use the piano because I am a pianist, but you can use the guitar as we sing, or other instruments that provide you harmony. The music is horizontal and vertical. Horizontal is melody, vertical is harmony, more sounds together.
Earlier you had mentioned the work that you do with special needs children
Yes,
as well.
yes.
And I think Professor Molino also mentioned it. He works with a lot of children with autism and behavioral issues.
Yeah.
What have you seen? What results have you seen with these types of special children?
Well, let me give you an example, because I worked with a boy with autism for only 8 sessions. Well, he's very high functioning, and but he has a little bit attention deficit and some inappropriate social behaviors. And the most severe problem I see from him is that he's not really socially interacting with anyone. And we did that music therapy, just a little bit similar to from what we did. We write songs together, we play musical games, and I interact with him in music, because he's not interacting without music, but in music he is.
And would he engage with you?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yes, like
He was happy.
He would start to tell me stories about his dog, his cat, his family, and I'll just improvise and write songs based on the story he told me. And by the end of the 8th sessions, his mother told me, "You know what? It's amazing that my boy is playing with other kids, and I've never seen this before."
Wow.
Oh wow.
Wow, it really works. It
And
really
you
works.
go out to the community and you work with many of these special needs children.
Yes.
Let's take a look at this video clip.
Sure.
哦，你好，哦，你好，哦，大家好，我们都是音乐家，让我们一起来倾听。
有人记得这个乐器叫什么吗？它叫尤克里里。
啊，恩里，它的声音是这样。
它是像什么样的？
我们都是音乐家，让我们一起来。我们都是音乐家，让我们一起来。
children and adults.
And they all seem to enjoy it.
Yeah, and
a lot.
engage the whole
Yes,
time.
yeah.
Do you need a music education background to be a music therapist?
You need a music background.
Yes.
Right.
Music background.
Yes.
You need to understand. in the first
You
place,
need
right?
to be able
Yeah.
to sing, you understand music theory, you can play at least the piano and guitar, and you can sing, you know all those percussive instruments. And
Yeah, again, I mean, if you go
Yeah.
back to the roots, they say you need to understand music, you need to understand education, you need to understand psychology,
It's
the way of
multifaceted.
communication. Exactly.
it's
exactly.
crossover.
Yeah, it's a crossover. You know, Professor Molino, how many years of education and training does this require?
In Italy, we have two waves of this kind of thing. First one is really academic. You come from the conservatory like me. I studied here in Rome. There was one of the most ancient conservatory in the world, Santa Cecilia. Mozart studied here a lot of centuries ago. And after I discovered another kind of environment and I earned another degree in music therapy. But there is another way to do it without being a musician, because the instruments can be used in unconventional ways. Like you take a guitar and you use the back part of the guitar like a percussion. You can use your voice. You can use your body to have a body sounds, body percussion, these things. And this other kind of music therapy is a human music therapy. These things are very, very, very fashion now in Italy, because you can come from other kind of studies like sociology, only medical studies, and you can come inside the psychological way of the music therapy. My advice is that if you are a real interface, you must know all the environments.
All right. Well, when we come back, we are going to finally get to everything that is here, and it's now your turn to be the guinea pig.
You know, I'm scared.
Stay tuned for that. You're scared. Stay tuned for that. In the meantime, check out all the links below. See you.
Alpha waves means relax.
So
Happy.
the yellow colors are good ones.
Yes.
You need to get on that bed right now. Therapy,
So that
talking is
therapeutic relationship is really
Right.
strong.
In my personal protocol of care, I mixed the two things.
Welcome back to Crossover. Where's the little? No.
I've
okay.
been hiding them from
all right,
you.
all right. I need that to calm myself down a little bit because probably I'll be lying there in a few minutes. But before we do that, let me just get more knowledge about how this works.
This is Juya's company,
Yeah.
Phoenix Concerto, and we do have a video so you can anticipate what is going to be happening to you. Let's take a look.
All right. This is more like, what I might picture the scene of a music therapy. It's basically the patient doesn't really do much, lying there. And you guys take up the job. I don't have to sing or compose any music.
So you're not frightened anymore.
So sit here firstly. We should
Okay.
make some test for you. We have brain waves.
Yeah.
Yeah, different. So the theta waves, alpha waves, beta waves, gamma waves, and delta waves. What we want is to make you have more alpha waves, because alpha waves means relax.
So
Happy.
the yellow colors are good ones.
Yes,
Yeah?
for the gray color means you're a little bit tired. And for this one, red color, that means gamma wave. So for the people now, because we are very busy and a lot of things, so more and more people have to always keep the gamma waves. This wave is not good.
Didn't
So that's
sleep
like
well,
the stress
I got
level.
The problem of
Gamma waves or stress
and-
level.
You know
So
what,
you have
if
high gamma waves?
I don't know. I mean, if I do actually have that experience. If I am on the edge of the cliff,
You find
somehow
yourself
deep
there
in my
often?
heart, I had that desire to jump, actually. Seriously.
Wow, that is a
And
real
that-
deep,
well,
dark
I mean,
secret.
some people say that shows you have a stress or depression
Yeah.
problem.
You have you need to get on that bed right now.
Tell me my problem.
Tired
And
and
that's okay.
sleep not very well,
Because I work too
and
hard.
a little bit anxious,
Yeah.
yes.
All the way.
but full of creative. Yes.
You can even tell that.
Full of creativity.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
That's
yeah.
all good things.
Yeah.
Yes.
Except for I don't
And
like
easy
that
to
cliff
happy.
part.
Easy to happy.
Keep it there.
So we're going to be as quiet as we can be while you are relaxing in your musical healing session.
Here we go.
尝试着让我们自己放松。
What did you feel?
Relaxed. Definitely a very relaxing experience. How come the two therapies? No, I mean the two sessions. How come?
Totally
it's
different.
Totally different.
This almost seems to me like some sort of maybe not music but sound therapy. Like you're using different sounds and different pitches and frequency,
frequency.
to affect the body physically, right? Versus, so I would almost call this like some sort of multi-sound healing, whereas music
That's
therapy,
more interactive, right?
Yeah.
right?
Yes,
Where
yes.
it was singing and yeah, it's very different. I mean, you're kind of taking apart the. This is when I get geeky, but this is the part when you take apart like the scientific physical properties of sound and how it can affect the body.
But how come you two are so different?
What we do is a little bit more music based and more therapy.
I think you're more about
Yeah.
social connection too.
Yeah,
Because a lot of people
yeah.
who might be depressed, they need a connection to another
Right,
person.
right.
So that therapy, that
that
talking is
therapeutic
important.
relationship is really
Right.
strong.
Versus this is more of a physical, own self-healing type of process.
Yes, we have a
Self-healing.
database
Using technology.
for 8,000 items for human frequency.
Professor, what do you think of the two different sessions?
These things I like so much because it's the different point of view of the same thing, you know. The social music therapy is very strong to connect people, to restore their energy, and to make an environment in what the people can talk with a non-verbal explication, you know, non-verbal emotions. You can play music. This other kind is more like the receptive method. In Europe, we use the GIM, the guided imagery music, founded by Ellen Bonney to the start of the last century. That is the same thing with the 100 strings harp, no? Less technological, of course, but it's the same thing. In my personal protocol of care, I mixed the two things, because at the first part you can explain your creative expression, your energy, your cathartic thing. After we go down on a deep relaxation, and to the end of the session, my patients start to be renewed. You are new to the end because are the both things
Right.
mixed.
So these two things are like you said, they're complementary. The two of you can work together and probably go even deeper with your patients. We're also going to say goodbye to wonderful Professor Molino from Italy. Thank you so much for joining
you.
us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you too. Thank you too.
Our government began to want to buy the service for music therapy.
What about on the market side? Because we talked about, there are so many people facing depression and anxiety.
It is not as popular as it should be.
Welcome back to Crossover, and today we've been talking about music therapy in China. I hear actually lots of stories, especially when some catastrophes happened in China. They would send psychologists and sometimes even music therapists to the earthquake or other catastrophe-stricken areas, like in Wenchuan. Were you also involved in that session? Yeah.
I was not. I was too young.
Yeah,
Yes, we involved in the Wenchuan earthquake.
you were there.
Yes, after the earthquake, the China. I think this is the milestone of music therapy in China.
right.
Yes. So from after Wenchuan earthquake and the therapists, music workers, all kinds of, not only the music therapists, the healers, all the
Psychologists.
singers,
Yes.
yes, and they are as the volunteer, and they enter into the different ways to enter into the Wenchuan and to provide all kinds of the music therapy or music healing or just to relax. So
What do they-
after the earthquake, the children crying everywhere. The children is crying.
Right.
Yeah. So first they take care of the children and to make children to
calm down.
Calm down.
So they were playing
and
music for them
play
to
music.
soothe them.
Yes, yes.
Right.
When children began to laugh, the mother is released. Yes, the mother is calmed down. So that's a very good result for. So at that time, our government began to want to buy the service for music therapy.
All right.
So
So,
it's a
this is supported by
milestone.
the government. It's
Yes, yes.
Right.
So since then, after the Wenchuan earthquake, and the government began to buy the service for music
to realize
So-
the role.
therapy.
the
Yeah,
importance.
especially for some the disaster.
So now they're appreciating it, but there's not yet a license or certification for music therapy in
a
China.
specified
There is a
category.
certification in the profession,
Okay.
but not a government-recognized
I see.
certification.
Yeah, and I think throughout history, music, I mean, it does have medicinal properties
It's
and
a
healing
social
properties.
activity.
You know, you were saying before that you did music therapy with the Maori people, Aborigines of New Zealand, and I know Native Americans of the United States also, they used a lot of music and beats as for healing as well. What about on the market side? Because we talked about, you know, there are so many people facing depression and anxiety, and so we know that there are a lot of people, maybe we said perhaps millions of people who can benefit from this, but how do you tell them that music therapy is out there and it is effective? Like, how do you outreach to them?
I think the main reason is people will doubt is the music therapy is really work.
People
Yeah.
doubt it, right?
Of course, doubt it.
But in the U.S., in the West, they don't doubt it. They accept
They
it.
do.
A lot
They
of
do.
doctors
Still, they do.
refer
They
it.
do, they do.
But I think it's not as popular as it should be. So still,
Compared to psychology, compared to, say, a clinic for a psychiatrist, say, I mean, are you basically at the same stage, similar stage, or?
You know what I think is this thing, why music therapy is not popular in China yet? It's actually because psychology is not yet
Not
so
popular.
popular in China. And because
We're populous.
Yeah, because people started to recognize psychology and counseling
Right,
type of things in
right.
recent years, only in recent
Yeah.
years.
But I think maybe there's this whole in Chinese culture, you don't want to accept I have this problem, I have this psychological
I don't
problem.
want to admit I
need-
have a problem.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
I need to go outside to, you know, to
Yes,
seek out a therapist.
that's why we think China has opportunity. Yes,
And it's
because
not
our
included.
culture. Yeah.
And it's not included in the national public health system. Is it
Right.
not?
Yeah.
It's not.
No,
Right. So there are a lot of challenges.
But
in
do you
terms
think
of
that will
bringing it
happen?
there.
I think I do.
You do
I
think so? I hope so.
I hope so, and I do
We really
think
hope
so,
so.
You think
because
so?
because I have faith in this thing,
Right.
in the music therapy, and we do have research data to support that. It's a serious science.
How do you see yourself, or say this career, your career, in 10 years' time in China?
I think it's such a good opportunity, this 10 years, yes, for the developing the music therapy. Yeah, it's really have a good market, yes, and really have a lot of the students will to learn the music therapy more and more the overseas students will back to China because China is really a potential market for music therapy.
And what I'm going to promote is to have it to be a real system, because I think it, just as I said, it's not fully developed because we are not having a healthy cycle for it. We need to have trainers, we need to have good students, and we need to have advocacy, we need to have research. And those are all the factors they build together to build a real profession. And I think in 10 years, that's what we should try to
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot to do.
Well, and
Yeah,
you know
a
what? We can all use a little bit more music and song in our lives, right?
Can we
And
keep-
laughter.
Yeah, can we keep the bed maybe for the future episodes?
No, but
the
you know what?
crossover?
You can keep the gong. You have to ask Juya,
Hang on,
though.
hang on. You're going to do the ending, and I'll do
All right.
this, right?
I want to
Wait,
thank
wait.
both of you so
Wait.
much for being here
Stand
today.
by.
Thank you
Yes.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thanks to our viewers at home for tuning in. We'll see you next weekend on Crossover. Bye for now.
Done?
Go for it.
Bye.